Disney Plus March 4th. Disney, of course, is the parent company of ABC News. Actor Charlie Cox reprises his role as Daredevil, a.k.a. Matt Murdock, a blind crime-fighting lawyer. And Vincent D'Onofrio reprises his role as Kingpin, a.k.a. Wilson Fisk, who's now trading crime for politics. As their paths catch up with them, their long-awaited clash in the Marvel Cinematic Universe becomes inevitable. Let's take a look.
You're a real man of the people now.
A rich man, by his very nature, is self-serving. A mayor serves his city.
Huh.
You don't seem entirely convinced.
Can you blame me? Considering you've tried to kill me a few times over the years.
As you have.
No. Incarcerate, maybe. Kill? Never.
I wonder if your darker half would agree.
And we have Daredevil and Kingpin themselves here, Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio. Thank you both so much for joining us. Charlie, let's start with you. Obviously, this already had a 3-season run on Netflix. Now this is Daredevil Born Again. So you guys are stepping back into those roles. How does that feel?
Wow, yes, amazing. I mean, I'm still kind of pinching myself, to be honest. I think the last season aired in 2018, and so 6-year hiatus, and we get to start again. So it's such a gift of a job. So I'm thrilled that they brought us back.
And Vincent, give us a sense, because the last time, 6 years ago, you actually gained about 40 pounds in order to play the role of Kingpin. And so how does that enhancement of the physicality help in your portrayal?
Yeah, I've done it before. It was
Full Metal Jacket,
yeah,
you did
Full
as
Metal
well.
Jacket.
Yeah.
But the hard thing was that in between seasons, it was like a long time
Yeah.
in between seasons. So I had to carry it we did 3 seasons, but it lasted about 4 years, right? The whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Almost
We had
5.
9-10 month hiatus.
Yeah. So that was keeping it on for that long. And then I was doing like movies in between and so it was tough, but it's not digging ditches, you know.
And I imagine it's not that hard when you just have to, honey, I got to gain 40 pounds.
Yeah,
that could be
nice.
fun. You have to pass around another milkshake. So physicality in another way.
Yeah.
Charlie, how do you prepare for the physicality of being a Marvel superhero?
Lots of stunt training, which is really fun, and I really enjoy kind of getting involved with the sequences and doing as much of the action as I can. Of course, that was a tad easier 10 years ago than it is now, but still. And yeah, a lot of gym work to try and. But when I got the role, I'd never really lifted a weight in my life, and so I had to.
Is that right?
Yeah, I did like yoga and stuff. I was fit-ish, but like I'd never done like weight training. So and I've actually really enjoyed that, and that's become part of my daily routine as well.
So you were passing by the mirror a little bit more, like flexing the muscles at this point. And Vincent, you have said before that you want your Kingpin to be definitive, your role of Kingpin to be definitive. What do you mean by that?
I think there's an opportunity with him to be unlike any other, what people might call a villain in one of these kinds of movies. There's such an opportunity. He's such a big character, you know, in more ways than one.
Larger than life.
Yeah,
really.
and he's also a very emotional character. There's a lot goes on with his interior during the whole show. As much, I would say, violence and action as there is all this kind of interior emotion with his wife and what goes on in his campaign to become mayor. How
fun is it, Charlie, to play a superhero? Because I'm curious, you know, it feels like there is a darkness, a heaviness, right, about tapping into the villain, but the superhero is the guy who saves the day.
Yeah, and I think this character in particular is really enjoyable for an actor because, you know, he does have, as Vincent says in the clip, he has a darker side to him, you know, and it's really been fun for me to kind of lean into the kind of the characteristics that you wouldn't necessarily associate with a hero. You know, he's very short-tempered at times. You know, he does step over the line, and probably has a lot of regrets when he does so. And I think the hope is that makes him more relatable ultimately. In the end, he will find a way to do the right thing and overcome the draw towards the negativity. But in doing so, hopefully, as an audience, we relate to him more.
Well, we are so glad to have you all back for another season here. Thank you so much for joining us here in the studio. And you can catch both Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio in Marvel Television's Daredevil Born Again, which launches on Disney Plus March 4th. And that is our show for this hour.